Hi, this is Katie Licht, and today in this video I will be showing you the process behind a spread in my mini book. Here's a book that I made. It's just a tiny book, and in this book I am only using scraps from my scrap box. So all I need is a scissors, my favorite glue tape, which is Tombow Mono Tape Rollers, and my scrap box. This is a box filled with all of the leftover bits and pieces of other projects. All kinds of papers, photos, my own painted papers, and you can see that a lot of them already have cutouts. There's just really a lot of bits and pieces in here, and it makes for a fun place to start a project. So let's get started. I start by just pulling some interesting things that I find. A color palette that I think might go together, little shapes that might make an interesting composition, and just kind of start playing with them, moving things around on the page, seeing how they look, finding the same kind of angles and shapes. You can see here that the curve of the blue piece kind of matches the curve of that green piece. So I thought that was just a nice little element that could tie together that page. And as you can see, as I work, I pull more things from the scrap box that might look nice on the page, or go with some of the colors that I've already chosen. This is just the fun part of sort of making the building blocks of the work. And as you can see, at this point I'm not doing any gluing. I really wait to glue until I have most of the elements on a page. I really like to be able to just move things and adjust and kind of play around with all the pieces and elements as I go. Another thing I'd like to talk about is my use of color in these pages. As you can see, I'm adding some little orange stripes up in the corner there. After I had my main building blocks of the mustard circle, the teal, and the kind of mossy green, I wanted to add something with a little contrast, so the medium peach orange is what I went for. And then I'm also adding in some neutral pieces as well. The sort of beige with the graph paper is a nice neutral. And then I can also bring in another piece of that medium orange, cut from the same paper but just a different shape, to bring the color over to the other side. At this stage of my process, everything is just about small adjustments, adjusting the placement of things, adjusting the size and shape of all my cut papers. Part of the reason I really like the Tombow tape rollers is because they're not super permanent. I can pull something up if I don't like the placement and kind of put it back down, and it won't affect the piece too much in the end. Felt like what this really needed was some contrast. It had a lot of medium tones, but not a lot of darks. So I added the two little dark brown shapes. It kind of looks black, but it's a kind of a dark chocolate brown. And at this point, I have a really hard time letting any page go without a tiny bit of pink. So I'm looking through my stash and finding the right pink that would coordinate with the rest of the colors on this page. As I get into this last section, and I'm just adding small details and gluing everything down, I've sped the video up a little bit because this is a part of my process that can take a long time, even to the point where I will set things aside for a while and come back to it later. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just showing you how I add in these last details and kind of move everything around until it looks perfect to me. As you can see, I'm still trying to get that pink in there somewhere. I haven't quite found the right place for it. So I take all my extra pieces and just move them around on the page, again, seeing what works for the composition and what works to balance out all the color overall. Once I have all these final pieces in, I just let it rest for a while and see what I think. Sometimes I make a few final adjustments, and on these pages I will go through all my little scraps of phrases and words and add a few of those in just to finish the composition. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it.